wedding. Your State Farm agent has your back, too, through good times and the not-so-good. And who's got your agent's back? State Farm, the company people have trusted for more than 90 years. We're here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Barkley Hudson at 270-365-7521.
Penarial Home Medical is the only company located in Western Kentucky that stocks all your home medical equipment. Power wheelchairs, beds, oxygen, braces, diabetic shoes, CPAP, stair lifts, ramps, vehicle lifts, walk-in tubs, and thousands of other items, all at prices that beat the internet and other stores. If your doctor or hospital prescribes equipment, tell them you choose Penarial Home Medical. Local quality service for over 35 years. Call 1-800-445-8002.
Ooh, yeah. Get the taco combo at a Taco John's. Get full for $6. 3 crispy tacos, small potato olies, and a 20-ounce drink. Baby, that's what I said. I said a taco combo at Taco John's. Get full for $6, yeah.
Taco John's, Princeton.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty at 8:07. Good morning. Of course, Coffee Talk is on the air, and we've got a special guest this morning. I love it when company comes over. Ty, who we got?
We definitely love it. Nancy Taylor is in the WPKY studios this morning, and Nancy is our liaison of the arts.
I am.
And we are
I certainly see myself that way. I don't
that-
require that anyone else does, but that's my post. That's what I do.
And we certainly appreciate that because you inform us of all the wonderful plays, concerts, and things going on, not only here locally, but in our region.
Right.
So we're just certainly glad you're here to tell us about all that.
Well, I think that's important, too, because if you're like me, and I know a lot of people are, I have trouble figuring out what's going on in my own house and where everybody's going. So when it comes
Well, I might touch on television too, Tess. So
Oh,
that's going on in your own house.
I like that. Well, no, I mean, but when you're planning things, you don't have time to search constantly.
That's right. And
I
some
think
of
that's
it's becoming
great.
costly, so planning does come
Right.
into play.
Well, and some of this, there's some things out there, especially with the arts, that aren't necessarily expensive, or at
That's
least
right.
some
And
of
I've
it's
got some
free.
of those for the offering as well.
I see. Now she's talking my language.
Okay.
Let's
well, I
do
got
it.
one for you. First, I want to talk about the upcoming one at TPAC. Now, that's in Nashville, but it's our city. It's most of us, when we go out for a night on the town, that's where we're going to go. So I followed TPAC pretty religiously, and they've got a Lincoln Center production coming up of My Fair Lady.
Aww.
I want to point out that it's a Lincoln Center production because they're very lush. They're very... the first one I went to here, or in TPAC, was The King and I. I don't know. It's an okay show. I like it. But anyway, I thought, well, I'll go. And it was fabulous. I really sold it short. So I'm so glad I took the opportunity to see it again. But what really was impressive was the set design, the production design, the costuming, everything that Lincoln Center can put into a production, they put into it.
Well, I think that's what makes it exciting,
It is
though,
exciting.
Isn't it? I mean, when you talk about, even with my kids and stuff, my daughter loves anything to do with the drama and
That's
that
right.
sort of thing.
It really
And
speaks to kids
with
in that
the
way.
pomp and circumstance of it, that's what makes it what it is, right?
One of the first shows my parents ever took me to was a local production of My Fair Lady. I remember it to this day. It fixed in my mind, as a little kid, these people are standing up in front of me in person, telling me a story. And I think from that day forward, that's, I guess, my preferred way to view a storytelling, because it has to happen in the moment. I have to be there in that moment. They have to enact it in that moment. The musicians have to, if it's a musical, have to play it in that moment. And it's just a cohesive, symbiotic, wonderful theatrical experience. And if you've got the money to spend, and they run around $90. I mean, it's a pricey night out. But, drive through your local McDonald's and then go down to Nashville for a show. You don't have to eat out and see a show.
What are the dates on My Fair Lady?
It's
there,
February 4th through the 9th. That's an 8-show run, most in the evening, but 2 matinees, usually on Saturday and Sunday. And if you move up in the seat selection, your price will come down as well.
Will that be in the main theater there?
The Jackson Hall, I think it's called. There are 3 theaters in TPAC. Usually the ballet, and the rep is usually downstairs in the Johnson Theater.
I'm a polk man.
I'm a polk girl. Yeah. And the ballet and other music venues often happen in the polk theater.
Well, and now My Fair Lady is something that's palatable among most of the entire family.
It's extremely well known. It's family friendly, except for one little, off-color word, but it's played for amusement, and it's very amusing. But also this weekend in Nashville, if you're up for it, is an opera. And it's a new opera called The Turning. It's based on Henry James. No, it is The Turn of the Screw, I think. Juxtaposed to a movie coming out called The Turning, both based on Henry James' The Turn of the Screw. Now, I am not a horror fan. I've never read the book. I've never seen the play or any movie dealing with it. But, we have
an opera. That's pretty interesting.
I think it's interesting to know that there is modern opera. There is, it's not all in Italian. Right. And that is another thing. I've only been, I'd say, a handful of times, but not only does it have to happen in the moment, when I look at the singers and the musicians, the years that have gone into the preparation for those people to get on that stage and tell, and it used to be the common man's theater experience. Opera has become highfalutin only in our generation. But
well, I'll tell you, I'm not anything scary. I'm not usually in the. We laugh about this all the time. I'm a weenie about stuff like that.
Me too.
But I love opera, and I think maybe that would be enough to make the difference.
They run it for a weekend. This is the weekend. I think they do 3 shows. And again, it's at a higher price point, but you're paying for all the musicians that are there on that time. If you want to move down in price, the Tennessee Rep is doing A Streetcar Named Desire. They run for 3 weekends, or Thursday through Sunday, 3-weekend stint. And it's Tennessee Williams' most well-known play. It's also, I think it's good every once in a while to take a kid to a play, a non-musical theater experience. The first time I took Laura, we went to see, it was, Maggie Smith was in it. You think I'd never forget it. Oh, The Importance of Being Earnest. And when we sat down in the theater, her first question to me was, where's the orchestra? And I thought, I've never taken this kid to a play, but I hadn't. Shame on me. It's nice every once in a while to, I don't know, to let a story be told in a most unusual way like that. And it shouldn't be unusual, but it has become so. The Chieftains are coming back to TPAC. Did you know that? No. I've seen them twice. This may be a farewell tour. I'm not sure. They're getting on up there, though. But that gets close to St. Patrick's Day. And if you've never seen a great Irish band, get close to February or March because you're going to see a show. They're coming February 19th. Something else I wanted to talk to you about was the Oscar race. Are you following it?
Just a little bit. I'm not a Hollywood. Are you following it? I mean, I kind of touched base on it, but
here and there. I do.
Well, you all have the right to be wrong, as my dad used
I'm
to
a
say.
television. I do watch a lot
usually
of television.
you follow the Golden Globes.
The award shows are going to be on television, Tess. Lucky for you.
You follow the Golden Globe, and that sort of leads you to the Oscars, right? Not always.
It does.
But
Not always, but that starts the season, and the SAG Awards were Sunday night, and that's where they shake each other's hand and scratch each other's backs. But that is more of a precursor, I think, to how it's going to go. But the 3 things that have interested me in the Best Actress race this year, and I'm going to butcher all these names, but Cynthia Erivo in Harriet, which I saw, and she is great. And I've been following her career. She burst on the scene for me in The Color Purple, Oprah Winfrey's Broadway production of A Color Purple, for which she won the Tony. She is dynamic. And when I saw the movie, I was really expecting dynamic. And she is dynamic, but the movie was not dynamic. But I thought, it really needs to be a little bit better than it is. It's got a built-in audience, me being one of them, and they're going to respond forcefully, which we did. And her performance was singled out. Now, she was looked over for some of these other things, but for the Oscar race, she was singled out. But I looked at that. Why such a dynamic performance and such a dynamic story doesn't hit a high water mark? I don't know. But then it happened again for me in Judy, which Renee Zellweger is racking them up.
Yes.
For her portrayal as a Judy Garland. And again, I went with built-in audience, me being one of them. I went with very high hopes, and it was like Harriet, a good film with a great performance that should have been better. I tie all that into one that hits on all marks, and that's Little Women, Greta Gerwig's Little Women. And here's the name I'm going to butcher. Saoirse Ronan as Jo is
Right.
being singled out, and she's really, really good. But what sets this movie apart, what moves it up higher in the echelon of greatness, is the young girl, Florence Pugh, as Amy. I have seen this movie countless times.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay, this is my
love that
third
movie.
example of a built-in audience. But Amy takes this up a notch. She gives such humanity to the third daughter. No, the youngest daughter. But their competition, hers and Joe's. And they have a kind of an equal standing in this storytelling. And it's a very lush production.
That's interesting because
too.
I always thought Joe kind of stood out. Maybe it's a different one for each person that watches it. Maybe that's what it is. It's a
Joe
unique
is the man.
experience.
Absolutely.
But
She's
Joe
But
always
wait
stood
till
out.
you see this one, Tess. And I think it will come locally. I saw it the weekend that came out, and I'm so pleased that Heidi does her job in getting the local shows here. But the young girl that plays Beth really knocks it out of the park, and she too has been singled
I'm looking
out for
forward to it.
Best Supporting Actress Oscar, and I hope she gets it.
Wow. So that's the ladies' side. What about the men's side?
I am not. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to go this weekend and watch on Netflix Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm here to admit I've never seen a Tarantino film.
Right. Oh, you have not?
Never. I'm not into
Oh.
violence, but I'm going to
Buckle
see
your
it.
seatbelt. You're in for a ride.
Haven't seen this
Through
one.
laced fingers,
Is
I'm
this
going
the
to
one
watch
with
it.
Adam Sandler?
No, that was Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. Yeah, but he's getting a lot of acclaim for that.
Yeah, but he didn't get
performance.
nominated.
I know, but he's just saying, man, they missed the boat on him. They always think of him as a
I think there were
comedic
so
guy.
many good men's performances this year that some just got left out. Same for women, but
Okay.
Adam Sandler got left out. But I am going to watch it. And the other one is The Joker. He's racking him up. And that's another one. Here's where I left off the Batman series. Michael Keaton and
Oh, yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I think I saw the Heath Ledger one, but it was very dark and very disturbing. So that's not my cup of tea. But I'm interested in what he's done. They say he really takes you into a journey of mental illness in a very sympathetic way, much as Natalie Portman did in The Black Swan, that you're just going to see a descent into madness. It's really less maybe about the storytelling and more about the performance in this regard.
But he has in the past delivered some pretty good performances
He has.
as well.
He's
so,
tried and true.
But this is probably, I hear, and I did not see it because I'm not into that kind of thing, but yet it is, I hear, a pretty powerful performance and a pretty powerful statement about mental illness.
I think so. And I think one thing to watch in the awards season is the opportunity to hear about films that maybe aren't your cup of tea, but maybe you'll take a look at it. And I think if you do take a look at better films, it gives you a more seasoned opinion of what makes a great film, what makes a good film. And some I love that aren't, I'm not saying you have to have an erudite kind of response to films. You don't. You just have to go to the movies, get some popcorn, and enjoy.
What about that Star Wars movie now? How's that coming along on the Oscars right now?
I saw the first three. I got the gist.
I'm kidding. Now, a lot of as far as movies is concerned, 1917 is really getting.
I saw it.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
I loved it, but here's the reason to see 1917. Sam Mendes has done the cuts so seamlessly that it looks like it's shot in one long take. It feels like real time.
Really?
You go into the trenches with these two boys who are on a mission to call off an advance so that there won't be a massacre, and it's very intense. But the price of the ticket is for the experience of seeing one long shot, and you do. It's a while before you realize they haven't let up yet. Wow. It's remarkable. Wow. But one thing I want to say about the Purchase Players over in Mayfield are doing for you gals this weekend. They're doing Nora and Delia Ephron's Love, Labor, and Love. What is it called? Love, Labor, and What I Wore. Anyway, it's pretty well known. I think they're doing a dessert theater. The price point's about $13. It's this weekend. They have a Facebook page and maybe a website
That's
that
in
you can
Mayfield.
check that out. Mm-hmm.
Was not aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
What about Mr. Rogers? It
It was great. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. But here's what was interesting about that. And he's up for a Best Supporting Actor, which he should be.
I think he deserves it.
He does. But it's the young man's story. The writer,
journalist that's in there.
The journalist.
Yes.
It's his story. And so I went to see a Tom Hanks movie, and he's great in it. But he supports this journey of this young man's rift with his family and the kindness that he learns from these simple children's lessons, if you will, from Mr. Rogers impact him as an adult. And it's life-changing for him as well. But here's what's great about that production design. And I hope the production design's up for an Oscar. They need to be. When you enter the whole production design, you're in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, and it takes you through an adult story of this journalist's turmoil. But you go from neighborhood to neighborhood, just like you were riding the trolley in Mr.
I'll tell you, Ty can tell you, I was immediately hooked when I saw a preview, and I started bugging everybody in the. I was like, Audrey, have you seen that? I thought he was amazing as Mr. Rogers. He was just encompassing in that part.
And all the supporting players in that movie were good, as well as the lead actor, whose name I also butcher every time I give it a try. But and the director who did that movie is the same director who did Will You Ever Forgive Me with Melissa McCarthy last year. That did her. He held her in such good stead. She's a pretty adequate director. She's new to me, but 2 for 2.
That's
in my
awesome.
book, anyway.
That's
I'm sure
That's
she's got a
pretty good
longer
odds.
resume than that.
I know we were talking about the Mayfield players. Let's stick with Oscars real quick until we talk about some more local stuff. Dark horses that you see. I know a lot of people are interested in just Oscars. There are a lot of awards for actors and movies and stuff. But
Here's
dark
why I
horses
am
that you
pitiful
see.
at this. My kids will say to me, "Mother, you always vote your emotional favorites." True, and I just get miffed if they don't win. But
Isn't that the way most people are, though?
yes, I think you have to. It's like a ball game. I will watch a ball game, but if I'm for one of the teams for real, I'm invested. And when I watch these races, if I'm for one of the actors or producers, I'm invested. A lot of them I don't know about, but I really think anybody from Little Women, for my money, it's the best thing I've seen this year. I expected a great movie, and it was better than.
But it blew you out of the water.
It really
Yeah.
did.
That's cool.
For a tried and true old story, to see it in a new way and to relate to it emotionally so deeply. It was
Sometimes
remarkable.
I think when they do that and they don't try to outdo the last one and they just let it be pure and be what it is, I think that really makes a difference.
But isn't that the true essence of art? You
Yes.
can take an older story
and give it fresh eyes.
and give it
your
fresh
eyes.
eyes or your eyes, and you relate to it, and it touches your heart
Absolutely.
in a certain way.
Let me bring a new audience in to see this as I see
You
it.
see it in music. The same old song
That's
is
right.
presented different. Well, this is the same old story, but yet it's told through different eyes and a little bit different way, but without doing anything to the integrity of it.
As Kathy Bates, who's up for a Best Supporting Oscar, said long ago when I heard an interview with her, it all gets down to campfire stories. Tell me a story.
Now, there's a name that when I think of Kathy Bates, there's one scene that I think of with her, and that I can't get it out of my head.
Don't say it.
Yes.
Don't say it.
I'm telling you, anytime her name is brought up, I get a little bit. If you'll see, I get goosies every time because that one scene.
I saw
it's
her
fried green
off
tomatoes for me.
Broadway. Well, she's great in that, but I saw her as a youngster off Broadway in a play called Vanities. She's a Texas gal. And these are 3 Texas cheerleaders in the 60s, right before the Kennedy assassination, but she was so charming. But I didn't see what she would become. It was
And you saw her back in the day before she really. But you when you say that name, but you can think of all kinds. Just the Molly Brown performance in Titanic, or like again, fried green
see, I'd
tomatoes.
forgotten about that.
Is my
she's
thing,
a utility
All I
player.
think about is
to
that
use
one.
a baseball analogy, she's a utility
But she's so
player.
strong.
Baseball.
though. She's one that you want up there. The game's on the line, and guess what? You call Kathy.
She's
in,
gonna get on base.
and you know it.
Or sacrifice. No, she's not going to. She's going to get on base. She's got an ego.
But isn't that awesome?
It is.
So let's talk about regionally. We've talked about TPAC. With TPAC, we talked about Mayfield. What about the Carson Center? I know there's some
Okay, here's
concerts.
the interesting
I'm
thing
going
about
to
the
Dwight
Carson
coming up
Center.
on the 29th.
Last night they had SpongeBob SquarePants. Cool. Okay, now let me say this is the same production for One Night in Paducah that played 6 weeks ago at TPAC in Nashville. You're going to see the same show at a different price point. They don't always hit a lot, but I know late February, Blue Man Group with the new show is coming to TPAC for 8 performances. I think the same show in April is coming to the Carson Center.
Right.
The only difference is you have 8 opportunities to see it in Nashville. You have 1 night only to see it in Carson, but it's very important for those of us with local venues that can get the big shows in
Definitely.
for a night to support them when you can.
Well,
So-
the more you support them, the more those big groups and those big things that they can bring in.
Absolutely. And Carson Center is very good to have a lot of music there. And I went on their website last night. Their website's very good, as is TPAC's. I think thecarsoncenter.org is their website.
I think that's right.
tpac.org is the Tennessee Performing Arts, and make sure you get the right one because you can get pirated away sometime. And always buy your tickets through their websites. You're going to get their price, their seating.
And not through the third-party vendor.
Third-party vendors, you're going to pay. I've seen people pay 2 and 3
Some
times
handling
more than they
fees.
need to.
Yeah.
And I will also say, if you follow these venues on Twitter, usually, you'll see an availability to get a. For instance, Hamilton, which just ran for 3 weeks in TPAC, they let you enter lottery for $10 tickets every performance.
Wow.
I did not win,
I will add
though I
something
entered
to that,
but-
though. Now, we have a big deals page where we run a lot of.
That's right, and I seek that out. I want you to know.
Well, and that's one that I will say. You know, when we talk about third-party vendors, that sort of, we can save you some money, and,
That's right.
not necessarily every show is going to be on there every time, but if you'll check there first.
Yeah, you might see
You
something
never know.
there for something local performance that's going on. Sure, if there's, and that's a great point. We definitely do that, and of course, lots of events coming up as we head into the spring as well. Concert
Spring is the big
series
season.
and all those kind of things.
And
So-
then in the summer, you have the festival series, the
Exactly.
music festival series. So they ebb and flow in kind of a thematic way. But, theater's my favorite because when I was a kid, my parents took me to a show, and
well, it can be life changing.
it's life-changing.
It really. So,
My daughter was in Annie when she was, when they had the drama department and everything here.
I worked
And
on that. Yeah.
I will tell you, it changed what she wanted to do, and at a young age, and I guess
I
it was
also
just about
think
the right
when
time.
kids get into public performance like that, they speak better, they have less nerves in front of a crowd. They gain a kind of self-confidence that they would not otherwise gain. So
That's important.
support
You and I
it.
talked
Very
about that.
valuable.
Well, and the Follies are coming up very soon. They're actually asking for acts and that sort of thing right now. And if you've got some talent or you just want to go have some fun and watch it, I think it'll be a whole lot of
Supporting
fun.
the arts locally is crucial.
No
It's
doubt about
crucial.
No
They
doubt.
don't put on the shows that we put on when Cecile
Right.
and I were there.
Right.
I don't know if the interest waned but it's crucial to support it. If the support were there, they'd still be there, I guess. I don't know.
Well, now they're getting ready to do the Follies. So
Excellent.
Everybody
Excellent.
needs to kind of support that, or so that can be around. And it's a lot of fun. It's just a bunch of community people having fun.
It is.
The arts are crucial to just learning, and it is so nice, and we hope that we can have you back from time to time to update us on all the events going on regionally, and of course keep us abreast of everything going on within the visual arts and theater and those kind of things.
You need to
do,
come
no.
back after the awards so we can talk
I
about
will
the
do it.
winners.
I will do it. All right, thanks,
Fantastic.
guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
That's Nancy Taylor. She is here. She is our liaison to the arts here in Princeton and Caldwell County.
I love that.
And got us up to date on all that good stuff going on regionally. Check it out. You can go to those websites, as mentioned previously by Nancy, tpac.org, and, of course, thecarsoncenter.org are some of the places and venues that you might be able to see a great theater production or some great music. And you're listening to Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Are you looking to shed those extra holiday pounds? Do you tend to gain pounds back after dietary loss? Dr. Raymond Quattro with Health First is board certified in weight loss medicine and has guided many patients through a successful weight loss and showed them how to keep the weight off. He has extensive experience in the use of new weight loss medication and is well versed in the science behind a successful weight loss program. Call 905-4084 to schedule a consultation. At Health First Community Health Center, your health is our first concern.
This is Mallory Hancock Lawrence, and we love our Caldwell and Line County friends. We invite you to come to Cada's anytime you can to shop with us. We're making it even easier for you. Whether you work in Cada's or just come to town for a visit, stop in and shop with us. But if you're in a hurry, you can pre-order your groceries at Hancock'sNeighborhoodMarket.com. It's so easy and convenient. Of course, we want to see your smiling face anytime we can, but if you're in a hurry, Hancock'sNeighborhoodMarket.com is the way to go. Hancock's Neighborhood Market, Cada's.
Since 1978, Perry's Floors & More has been selling, installing, and servicing homeowners throughout Western Kentucky with quality flooring and workmanship. Perry's Floors & More carries luxury vinyl plank and luxury vinyl tile, carpet, window treatments, and more. Brands like Mannington, Shaw, Tarkett, Beaulieu, and Flexitech. Quality brands, excellent customer service, combined with 40 years experience is why they say you can walk on our reputation. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors & More, 127 West Market Street, Princeton.
Looking for a job that can lead to a career? What about a job with competitive pay and fixed schedules? That's not even the best part. At Bridgestone Metalfa in Clarksville, team members earn a competitive compensation package with 2 increases in the first year, quarterly bonuses, quarterly profit sharing, and start day 1 with a full benefits package, medical, dental, vision, life insurance, and more. Inquire today and start your career.
Bridgestone Metalfa, serving society with superior quality.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
Imagine if there were a place you could go to buy gift certificates to some of the best businesses in town. Now, imagine all those great gift certificates priced 30, 35, 40%, and at times over 60% or more off retail every day of the week. The Loyal Listener Big Deal Store is online and waiting for you to shop and buy gift certificates to local businesses. Go to WPKYonline.com.
And here's your WPKY Weather Edge. Weather Center forecast. Scattered flurries. Well, it did say before 8 o'clock. I'm gonna just not say the 8. There's a chance of some scattered flurries this morning. Partly sunny, gradually more sunny throughout the day and less clouds. High near 35. Now tonight, those clouds are going to start coming back with a vengeance. Low around 22 tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, high near 40. And then on Thursday, slight chance of rain after lunchtime. Cloudy otherwise, high near 41. 17 at 8:32, 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Big John's Barbecue.
1580, 103.3 WPKY, and Coffee Talk is live on the air this morning. And I always have fun when we're talking about it. And she's so much fun. Miss Nancy is so much fun. And we appreciate her being here because that's kind of fun to talk about every once in a while, the arts and
Nancy
what's
Taylor
going on.
here, getting us up to date on the arts around.
Well, we had talked about with her that, getting kids involved in the arts and getting them comfortable speaking in front of people and that sort of thing was so important early on. And that's kind of a fun way to get that into it. And then now we're moving into something that, I think is fitting after that. Because, you get them used to it when they're young. And now what are we going into, Ty?
Well, we are excited about having representatives of the Princeton Rotary Club here. It is that time. Dr. Melissa Earnest is here and Geneva Malone of the Princeton Rotary Club. And it is district speech contest time. And this is always, as a Rotarian, it's a fun time of year because the speeches that come out of this contest are really incredible. And in the past, I think, ladies, we've been pretty successful here in Prince Caldwell County to have kids move along and do well at the regional and then go on. So good morning to both of you, and tell us about it.
Good morning. I said, what a segue she gave us from
How about that?
Nancy's talking to speech and being in theater and then coming up.
That was Miss McNeely's class that taught me way back in the day. I was listening that day. I didn't get a paddlywhack that day. But that was way back at the middle school when we still went to Butler. So,
well, it is speech contest time again. We put this on every year at the local level, and then, like you mentioned, we go on to a sectional, and then to a regional, and then to the actual district level. And we have had some success in the past. Ross McGregor, not too many years ago, went on up to the district level. Yeah. And, of course, you get money every step of the way. So that's a little way that they can build some scholarship money for themselves, and it buys a textbook or two, perhaps.
Exactly.
If they go to college, or sometimes it might help out with some money for a certificate at the vocational or trade school. They can use it for that. So,
well, when you tell them this, they probably don't believe it. But really and truly, I love these speech contests because if I was honest with myself and I looked back years ago when I did that in 4-H and in FFA, we always had speeches. Although it embarrassed me to death, back in the day. Boy, was that good for me for later on in life. Not just because of what I do for a living, but I mean, anybody, whether you work at a bank or, anywhere, whether it's teaching a Sunday school class, there's so many different things in life that when you're comfortable doing things like this can make a huge difference in how much you move up in the company, maybe.
Yes, and our club is really good about supporting these students and helping them, and afterwards kind of giving them some feedback. Here's what you could have done better. And they can come back year after year as long as they're in high school. They can start out as a freshman. We try to encourage freshmen to come and try it the first year And, you may not do that well, but you learn and you build on that and what the feedback is. And then you can come back as a sophomore and a junior and a senior and, keep trying.
Well, tell us
Ty
how
and
it
I
works.
talk about that a lot because I've got one kid that, she'll stand up in front of anybody, God and everybody, she don't care. But then CJ, Ty and I have talked a lot about that because CJ's so backward and he's so shy and he will sit way back here at the back of the radio station, won't he, Ty? and you never even know he's here. And so it's so yin and yang, I guess. But this is something, this is something that can make a
build
difference.
on. And it's a very short speech. I'll let Geneva tell you a little bit about what the topic is and, what the requirements are. And then we can tell you when our local contest is so they'll know how to get going with it.
Well, this year's theme is Rotary Connect the World. And it's going to take place on Tuesday, March the 3rd. At 12 noon. The location is yet to be decided, and I'll let Melissa explain that a little bit later on. But this year, I've already distributed packages to the guidance council at Caldwell County School, and Melissa's been gracious. I call her my co-chair here. to distributed information to the homeschoolers. So they also have an opportunity to participate. The contest this year is about making connections. How do we connect with our communities? How do we connect with our friends, our relationships? It's all about connection and how that has grown as we get older, and how that causes to bring about lasting relationships and being more involved in the community, networking. These are all key things that is involved with connecting with each other. I mean, our kids are so technically into things. They don't talk anymore. They don't,
No.
Everything is done on a computer, so they're losing those skills. So as a Rotarian, I think it's very important that we get back to the basics of having our children talk. And get involved in this type of things. Is it easy to stand before an audience? No, it is not. I am first one to tell you, I hate being in front of an audience. But it's something you have to do in life at some point in your life. And as you said, it helps you. It may help you move forward in your job. It may just help you make the right connections to move forward. So I'm excited. I've been doing this for 2 years now, I think, Melissa. And my granddaughter was in both, has been in both of them for the last 2 years, and in 2018 she won first place here, and
she did. And went on to the sectional and did a great job there.
Yes. So and then last year she took second place, but we have very good kids here in Caldwell County. We do. And some of them just needs a push. I've always encouraged young people, don't say I can't do it, because, see, we know God says we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So I always encourage them, try it, I mean, they can write out things, but it's something about standing in front of an audience, and I can identify with that. But we do get past it. So
Ty's the networker. He is great at that.
Me too.
I'm not.
Too.
He is wonderful at that.
That's me.
What's amazing about this speech, being a past Rotarian myself, is that these kids, they don't have notes. They're up there pretty much doing it right off their head.
Well, locally they can have note
they changed
cards.
that a few years ago.
That
they could have note cards just to kind of support them at that first level. But then after that, it does have to be memorized.
But still,
that's another skill.
It's another skill.
It's another skill.
And it's a valuable skill because sometimes we don't have things written right in front of us, and that is a difficult thing to do, to get up there, keep your thoughts straight. And we have really seen some kids come out of our system here that have done a fantastic job with this speech contest. This is one, I think, and you might correct me, but this is one of the things that Rotary International really emphasizes and has for a long time. It's an important part of their mission.
Yes, it is. Back to what Geneva said a minute ago, and the reason we have to explain about our current situation with our meeting place, we will let students know, if they'll let us know that they're interested in the speech contest, so that we can keep them informed as to where we will have it. As most of you know, the Princeton Rotary Club is regularly met at the Majestic House restaurant for a long, long time, and they are in the midst of renovations. So we have kind of been misplaced for this month at least, and we are now meeting at Polly Eyes at noon on Tuesdays, or at least for the month of January, and then we'll kind of reassess as the Majestic gets their renovations underway and see how long it's going to take. So we may be back at Majestic for the speech contest. We may be at Polly Eyes for the speech contest. So at this point, we'll let the radio station know. We'll let the Times Leader know for the newspaper. We'll put it on our Facebook page, just so students know where to come when the time.
Well, I gotta say,
time comes.
I love that you guys involve the homeschoolers too. That's
Yes,
a
we
whole
do.
network of kids that I can't tell you how.
And
how
we're really
wonderful that
proud
is.
this year. We've actually organized an Interact Club, which is the high school equivalent of the Rotary Club. Yes. And so we got that started with our Princeton homeschool group, and I went and met with them a couple of times. They're a wonderful group.
Yes.
So we're hoping that this year will be a good year for them to start getting involved in the speech contests, since it's all Rotary related.
So tell us a little bit more. Of course, Interact is basically a Rotary club within the high school.
For the high school students, right.
And then, of course, you say you have integrated the homeschoolers into the Interact as well.
We have.
So do you go to a certain site for that, or do they come and come to the high school when that meeting takes place? How does that work?
They can. Well, the high school's in the process. Nate Huggins, the superintendent, is also a Rotarian, so he is trying to work with the high school to get an actual club started at the high school for those students. The Princeton homeschool is pretty much run by Stephanie Burton. So she's the one I met with, and kind of we got them organized, and we had them come to a meeting and presented their certificate of organization, and so they're kind of a new group. They just got organized, a few months ago. So.
But they're already active.
Just started, but they're already active.
Fantastic.
They gave some things at Christmas. They did some hot chocolate for the Veterans Day. So they're really going to be a good group, I think, and future Rotarians.
No doubt.
Well, when you talk about networking and doing
making
those sorts of things
connections
with homeschoolers, that's very important and vital to for those kids to do that because they have less opportunities inside their circle.
And you're eligible to come to the Princeton Rotary Club speech contest. So, like, for example, last year our winner actually lives in Fredonia area, but because of where she lives, she actually attends Crittenden County. But she was eligible because she lives in Caldwell County, and she came on and ended up winning last year. So, as long as you reside in Caldwell County and you're a high school student, whether it's homeschool or you go to a Christian academy or somewhere, you're eligible to come and participate in our speech contest.
So Geneva packets are with the guidance counselors at the school as of right now, and they just kids need to pick up the packet.
Yes, the packages are at the high school, and I've spoke with the counselor Whitney out there, and I've spoke with the principal, and I'm encouraging all the English teachers to support those high school students. And if students need help, then as Rotarians, we are available, but we want them to also work within the school system, because that's important as well. But they're being taught this stuff anyway, so they might as well go where they're used to, too. But we do make ourselves available as well. The one thing I also want to point out, it's not a long speech. 5 to 8 minutes is not very long. I mean, sometimes you have so much to say, and you can't always get it out in that time. But we do ask that they
you get me going.
Stay within that time.
Didn't have any trouble with 5 to 8 minutes.
Because it can count against you, So it's that kind of thing. So we ask that they stay within the time limit of 5 to 8, so they don't feel like, well, I've got to write 5,000 or 6,000 words or something. It's not.
But that is a long time for some kids, though, too.
It is.
It goes by really fast when you're standing up there, I'll tell you.
No doubt about it.
Now, I do want to talk about the cash awards locally. First place, they get $300. Second place, they get $200. And first place, they get $100.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, Shay used her the first year she got to get her a prom dress because she was like, she wanted what she wanted.
Right there.
And I was like, well, you better do something. So she did. Well, she's always enjoyed. She's now going, girl. So she told me I didn't encourage her. I didn't have to encourage because she said, well, I'm gonna do this. So I mean, some kids you don't have to encourage and push as parents. Some you just know will do it, and others you kind of have to nudge them along. So I'm also challenging parents today to, you got those kids, kind of nudge them to
kick on whatever works.
And
Cow
say,
poker.
Hey, look, why don't you try out for this speech contest? They get a free meal.
We feed them lunch.
And to tell you the truth, those prizes, that's a nice incentive to step outside your comfort zone a little bit and stretch the imagination on how Rotary is connecting around the world. So what a great topic as well. That's right in the Rotary's wheelhouse as well. And the dates again for this contest.
Tuesday, March 3rd. It's the first Tuesday in March at noon. And we'll let you know where, depending on how the renovations go and where we are, we'll let everybody know. But Tuesday, March 3rd at noon. Again, high school students, as long as you reside in Caldwell County, it doesn't matter where you're attending high school, you are eligible to come be a part of this speech contest.
Yes.
And great prizes.
Yes.
Phone number if they got any questions.
If they can call me. My phone number at home is 270-365-6273. I do have an answering machine that's on 24/7, so they can leave a message if I'm not there. We also have a Rotary Club email, and they can email, and I can email them the whole packet. And that's at PrincetonRotaryClub@gmail.com.
That sounds great.
Real easy.
Thank you so much, ladies.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Hope we have a lot of participation this year.
Oh, we appreciate all you do in the community.
And we definitely want the winners. Once the contest takes place, we want them back and show both them a little bit and congratulate them on their accomplishment.
That'd be nice.
That's great.
Well, it's the Rotary Club time.
That's exactly right. Dr. Melissa Earnest, Geneva Malone from the Princeton Rotary Club. Thank you all so much for being here on Coffee Talk this morning.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, we've got somebody else in the house too that we want to get to here. I saw him walk by. You can't miss that jacket that he's got on. We definitely want to take.
I thought he was a Cowboys man.
Well, he is a Cowboys man. He's playing a little dress up today. I don't know what the deal is. Hey, Brother Mark Faughn is up next. 847 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Hey guys, Heidi with Capitol Cinemas, your local Princeton movie theater with your weekday lineup. In Cinema 1, Bad Boys for Life, rated R. In Cinema 2, Doolittle, PG. And in Cinema 3, Frozen 2, Sing Along. All three movies show Monday through Thursday at 6:30. Call during showtime hours at 270-365-0200 or visit us at capitolcinemas.net. Thanks for listening. See you at the show.
WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast for today. Those scattered flurries are possible this morning. Partly sunny otherwise. High near 35 tonight. Clouds, low 22 tomorrow, mostly cloudy. High near 40. And then on Thursday, 30% shot at rain after lunchtime. High 41. It is 19 at 848, 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Wallace Towing.
1580, 103.3 WPKY. All right, I got to turn his mic on now. So, hey, Brother Mark Faughn, you don't have your preacher outfit on this morning. That's what my mama said.
That's right.
I got the biggest kick out of it, and I do. I tell my mama a lot. She's going to kill me one of these days. But we were at the ball game, and I appreciate you showing up at the Special Olympics ball game. We sure did appreciate that.
Oh, that was fantastic. It was. I want to go again. I only got to watch a couple of games, and it was the love that's in that place. It's just. It's just unbelievable.
I'm telling you, you want to learn a lesson on what kind of a good person to be. That you just watch those kids.
That's exactly right.
That's the one thing that I will say that I was talking last night to a friend of mine, and I said, sometimes that a lot of us, when they're young and you're just getting the diagnosis and that sort of thing, you say, oh my goodness, why? But then now we're like, That's why.
Amen.
That's not a burden. That's they're there to bless people. That is their
exactly
calling
right.
is to show people what love is all about. So we sure do appreciate that you were out there. And I didn't fib. If you're watching us on the live feed, he's got quite some get up on this morning. Of course, we're going to get a picture here in a little bit because I've got on my Cowboys shirt and he's got on his Raiders stuff.
That's right. I think it was just for you. I knew this place. This is a very nice place, but it needed a little class brought in. So I wore my Raider jacket and my Raider cap to class this place up.
I think I need Heather over here with her Cowboys outfit on too. We got a lot of blue inside our studio, so I think that's going good. But Brother Mark Faughn, what church are you with?
I am pastor of Cedar Bluff Baptist Church here, just outside of Princeton, about 3.5 miles from the courthouse.
That's not far at all, is it?
No, it's not. It's real
and
close.
Y'all are always got a lot of things going on, and your beautiful wife, Miss Kay. And so what all of you guys got going on over at the church at the moment?
Well, we got our Bible drive is what I want to talk about first. We've been... This is beginning the 4th year of that. We started it 3 years ago, just in our own church family, collecting Bibles to go to Africa. But there's a great need for Bibles all around the world. And so we started in our own church, and we collected, I think, around 4,500 Bibles and money to buy Bibles.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. And so the next year, we opened it up to the public, to anybody and everybody that wanted to give, and we had a goal of 20,000, and we collected a little over 32,000. And so last year we had a goal of 35,000, and we didn't reach our goal, but we got 28,000, a little over 28,000 Bibles.
Good gravy.
That's right. So we have sent a little over 65,000 Bibles to all over the world to folks who don't have Bibles. And this year we have a goal of 30,000. It'd be nice to just go ahead and get 35,000 this year, and that put us up, 100,000 mark, and that would be awesome. We are so blessed. We live in the Bible Belt of the world, and we have Bibles. We have a church on every corner. We have Bibles, and I'd just like to share 2 or 3 stories with you. What got us started in this, our brotherhood, our Caldwell Line Baptist Association, when we get done with our Sunday school literature and DT and other literature, we take it out to the Baptist Center, and then it goes to the radio station down at Hardin, Kentucky, and then it goes to Butler, Illinois, and they sort it out. Love packages is what it's called in Butler, and then they ship it all over the world. And so our brotherhood started taking the literature to the radio station. We got hooked up with Steve Smith, who runs the Love Packages, and he told us that there's a great need for Bibles. People are hungry for the Word of God and don't have Bibles. So that's how we got started in it. There's 2 or 3 stories that really got me. There was in Africa, there was 25 villages that was all close together. And folks had come in and evangelize, and each community had a church. Each community had a pastor. 25 churches, 25 pastors. Well, out of the 25 pastors, only one of them had a Bible. Only one pastor had a Bible, and he would share his Bible with the other 24. So, pretty much on average, a pastor got to use a Bible 2 weeks out of the year. I just cannot imagine being a pastor.
That is hard to imagine.
It is.
When you think about it.
Very hard to imagine. I can't imagine trying to be a pastor without a Bible.
But we got to think about, too, these are people that will spend an hour and a half in line just to get a gallon's worth of water out of a hydrant.
That's right. That's where a lot of these folks are at. So that brings me to a story. We went up there 2 or 3 weeks ago to Butler and took the Bibles we had for 2019, and we helped. We stayed up there. He has a place to stay. We went up on Friday evening and worked up with him Saturday, and he shared some testimonies with us. And it's very possible, the video he showed us, it's very possible that it's this young lady that got a Bible. It's one of the Bibles that we sent. It's the same kind anyway. So, and she got it a few months ago. Anyway, they was having some kind of tent meeting, and they was giving out Bibles. And after the tent meeting was over, this young girl came up to the man who's in charge, and she asked him, said, "Can I have a Bible?" And so he said, "Sure." And so he gave her a Bible, and she went and bowed down and began to pray and thank God for this Bible. This was about, I think, 10 o'clock at night. At 2 o'clock in the morning, she was still praying and thanking God for this cheap Bible. And the man running the place, he said, "Well, I'm just going to leave her. She knows how to get home." And so he left. He came back the next morning, and she is still there on her knees praying, thanking God for this Bible that she received. And
where did that story take place? Where was the location?
It was in Africa. I don't remember the exact place, but it was in Africa somewhere.
So that ministry reaching out and really touching somebody.
And we take that for granted. I mean, we really do.
Exactly.
I mean, we don't think about the fact that you can get, a Bible for $1 at a lot of places or for free. And a lot of times we just don't think about it. Back in the day, back in the 1800s, which, by the way, was not that long ago here in this country, there wasn't nearly as many as there are now. It wasn't readily available. There was only one preacher, and he used to rotate around, I did the circuit preachers. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it hasn't always been that easy here. And, we could, now that we have it, we should share it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We went up there 2 years ago and helped Steve sort things out, and I was getting things out of boxes and stuff, and I picked up just a little ordinary Bible that's maybe an inch thick. This Bible had been wet. It had been wet for a long time. It was dry at this time, but the pages is all swelled
Crinkly.
up. I mean, it would barely fit in my hand. It's so swelled up and had this awful smell to it. And there was a trash can right there where I was at, and as I was motioning to throw it in the trash can, I asked Steve, I said, "I don't guess you want this Bible." And he said, "Whoever gets that Bible will be the best Bible they ever had." And that was really an eye-opener for me, too, because, that's what we would do with them. We'd throw something like that away. And so we want to invite folks to help us with that. We want everybody to look in their homes. You have a Bible laying around somewhere in your house that you're not using. And we'd love to have it, to send it to Africa, India, South America, just all over the place.
But before they give it away, you want to at least make sure there's one in the house they're using.
Amen. Amen. That's right. That's right. We don't want the Bibles that you're using. We want the ones that you're not using. And we all have Bibles that we're not using somewhere in our homes. And if you want to help us buy Bibles, we can buy a case of Bibles. We get 40 for $38, 95 cents a Bible.
Well, that ain't bad.
No, that's cheap. And so we order those and send those directly to Butler, and then he ships them out around the world. And so we invite Sunday school classes, churches, individual. I had a young man that I was on a radio station a couple of Sundays ago with Brother Ken Cummins. And the next day I saw a man here in town, and he told me that he was going to buy 3 or 4 cases for us. And so we want folks to do that. It's a great Sunday school class project. You want something to do. That's a great thing, giving out the Word of God. We won't know. They go to Africa, India, all over the world, and we won't hear too much about them until we get to heaven, and then the good Lord, He'll share with us what those Bibles, how they touch folks, and I just believe it'd be one of the greatest blessings that you can do.
A snowball in a good way.
That's right. That's exactly right.
No doubt about it. How long have you I know how long you've been doing this, but how long has your partner in Illinois been distributing Bibles worldwide?
He told us, I want to think about 40 years.
Yeah.
I think that's about right, about 40 years.
I wonder how many he has distributed throughout that.
They ship Sunday school literature and, just any kind of good biblical literature. And they last year they shipped, I want to say 200 tons.
Wow.
200 tons.
Wow.
That's something.
Yeah. And the goal this year is a little bit more than that, I think. And so, yeah, it's just amazing what goes through that place in one day. When the mail comes. When the mail comes, it's not just a few letters. Things come from all over the United States. He gets Billy Graham stuff that's outdated for them, that they had too much of. They'll have pallets of that, and some of it's Bibles, and it's just amazing.
Just sends it out.
Yeah, sends it out, and has folks all around the world, distributors that he can send it to. And
wow,
that's an army.
It is. That's exactly right.
Back in the day, one of the things that I loved one of the things I've always heard about it is, what does your army look like? If you tell a guy, that guy tells two guys, that guy tells two guys, that guy tells two guys. When you look 50 years down the road at each person telling just two people, what does your army look like and what have you spread? So, it's when you think about little bitty grains of sand, it can sure add up over the course of the years. And that's amazing what little Cedar Bluff here in Princeton worldwide has made a difference.
That's right. It takes everybody in the community to help out.
So where can we drop our Bibles off?
You can drop your Bible. You can get a hold of me, 270-339-8542. You can call me, and we'll work it out till we can get them from you. And if you want to make out a check, you can make it to Cedar Bluff Baptist Church, and then in the memo put for Bible Drive, and P.O. Box 105 here in Princeton. And if you give 95 cents, you bought somebody their very first Bible. And we had at one church had a young man, pastor was telling me that he went through his house and he found 4 or 5 New Testaments, and he was just so excited that he was able to give those, somebody that doesn't have a copy of God's Word.
Cool is that?
That's
one
right.
church is collecting one thing, another one's collecting something else. You can all get together and swap. How about that?
There you go.
Thank you for coming in this morning.
Well, thank you.
I sure do appreciate it, Brother Mark Faughn from Cedar Bluff Baptist Church right here in Princeton. And, of course, give your beautiful wife a plug while you're here.
Kay's Kitchen. Yeah.
You can't forget about Miss
North
Kay.
Jefferson Street, Princeton.
That's right, North Jefferson Street. And I can't believe she didn't give me any food to bring you guys this morning.
Man, take that plug back.
She didn't do that this morning. She was busy.
We love her no matter what, and we sure do appreciate you being here and
thank you
say
very
hi
much.
to her.
Thank you, Brother Mark.
Of course, if you've got a topic that you think maybe your church group or anything like that's going on, we can get you on our community calendar, and we can also get you on Coffee Talk. So make sure that you email that to us at WPKYonline@gmail.com, and it's from 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Need cash fast? Get the money you need. Call ABC Finance now.
Did you know 7 out of 10 people overspent during the holidays and are now worried about recovering from this?
If you're one of the 7, don't worry, we can help at ABC Finance.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
And we can help you recover from the holidays with easy payments you